Hello, this week we are going to be talking about Word 3, Module 3, Project 2, the Next Wave Communications document. So I'm going to go in here in Blackboard. I've already downloaded the instructions. I'm going to download the starter file using Word. I have Office 365 here on my computer I'm using today. You might have Office 2019 that you're using. Both will work. I'm going to click on the Enable Editing so I can make changes to the document. First thing I need to do is save it. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I am going to just put this on my desktop so that I can find it later. And I'm going to get rid of the starter file text and put in my last name. And then save. So the first thing that we're asked to do in step 1 is change the font size of the address line to 12 font. So this right here is all the address line. We're going to change that to size 12 font, and I'm just going to use my little shortcut bar here, and I'm going to click the little A and make it 12 font. You can also come up here and change this to 12. Next thing it wants us to do is where it says Insert Filled Square. We are going to take this and get rid of this text here and also the little lines, and we are going to put in a square, a filled square from the symbol insert location. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab, come down here to Symbol, and I'm going to click More Symbols. And so I'm here in the symbol font. You might have to change this. And let's look here and see if we can find a filled square. And if you don't see one there, which I don't, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change this. I'm going to look in the wingdings. That's my second favorite area to find different symbols and stuff that I want to add to a document. Come down here to webdings and look and see if I can find a filled square. And let's see, here's one right here. So I've got a square that's filled. I hit Insert and then Close. And so there I've got my little square here. Now the dots before and after it mean that I've hit the space bar. If you don't see those, remember you can just come up to the Home tab and turn the Show Hide button to turn those on or turn them off. So the next thing in step 3 is we want to change the width of the address line border to 3 point. So here's our address line and here's our border. So we just want to make sure that we're in the address line somewhere. And up here in the paragraph grouping on the Home tab, we're going to click here where the borders area is. And we're going down here to Borders and Shading. And you can see it's already in here. It's purple, but it's 6 point, and we want to change this to 3 point. Then we need to come over here to our figure, our diagram, and click on the bottom line to change that. Make sure it's applied to paragraph. Okay, and now we've made those smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here and hit my Save button because I've made some changes. And now I'm ready to make some changes. Here again, when it put in an address line, I'm going to insert a date, and I want it to be using the April 3rd, 2021 format. So today is October 1st, 2020. And there I've got my date in there. On page 2, we've got this text paragraph right here that we've got different text added to it. We want to just clear the formatting. So we're just going to highlight that paragraph, come up here to the Home tab, and we're going to click on this Clear All Formatting button to take away all of that formatting. So then here in our picture, we want to clear all the formatting on the picture, and it's pretty easy to do. Once we have our picture selected, we're going to come up here to Picture Tools, and we have this little button right here that's Reset Picture. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to reset the picture to the original setting. We want to add a dark purple text to picture border. So we're going to come up here to Picture Border. Make sure it's dark purple text 2. Just click on that. And then we want to add some alt text. So right here is our alt text button. And over here is our box to put it in. And we're going to say smiling people with a phone. Remember, the alt text is for those people who are visually impaired in some way and they're having this document read to them, and it will tell them this is what this picture shows. Smiling people with a phone. Gonna hit my save icon again. So now we want to scroll on down here, and we've got this blank box right here. We're gonna add some text to that text box. So we just have to click on the text box, and we're gonna add the text Next Wave Unlimited Plan, and make sure we spell it right. Let me just start this over. Don't know where my fingers are. Okay, we're going to see our D is on a line of its own, so we need to resize our text box, and we're going to change the width to 1.1. So with our text box selected, we have our Drawing Tools formatting tab here, and we want to change the width to 1.1. So now Unlimited is all on one line all by itself. We want to add a dark purple text to Shape Outline. So come up here to Shape Outline, the dark purple text 2. And then we're going to move this box over to the edge. So we're going to move it over here, line it up with our border in the top of our paragraph. So you should see a really light green line up along this one, up along the edge, and then up across the top as well as you're moving it around. And that's going to line it up with our paragraph there. And then we want to make the text wrapping tight. So we're going to come up here, we're still in our formatting, we've got our wrap text, and we want to change this to tight. So now we've got that our little text box there to the left of our paragraph. I'm going to go ahead and save this now, and we're ready to move on to page 3. So here on page 3, we want to add some SmartArt to the blank paragraph after the prepaid service heading. So we've got prepaid service. If you don't see any paragraph markings, let's turn on our show hide buttons. Here's our blank paragraph after the prepaid service heading. So it's down here in our document. We want to add some SmartArt. Remember, SmartArt is a way to add information and illustrate your information so it's visually more appealing and it's easier to read. And so we want a process. We want the basic chevron process. So here's our processes, and we kind of come down here to the basic chevron process. Click OK. You might have a text box that pops up over here to the left, and that's fine. You can enter text in that box over there or write in the shapes. So in our first one, we're going to put by phone. Make sure you spell everything correctly. Then sign up for plan. And in our last chevron is by minutes. And now we want to change the size of our SmartArt. So remember, we've got 3 shapes in here. And what's really cool is up here in our Smart Tools, like in our Format area, we can actually add more shapes. We can make them larger, we can make them smaller, we can change them here. In our Design area, we can add other shapes to our SmartArt. So if maybe we have 5 different processes we need to put in here, we can do that. But right now I'm on this shape, so whatever I do is only going to affect this shape right here. I want to change the size of the entire SmartArt, so I need to make sure that I click on the edge of the entire SmartArt. So I just want to make sure I don't have any sizing handles around these, just around the larger shape. And I'm going to change the size of this to 2 inches, the height to be 2 inches. And then I want to change the colors. So I'm going to come back up here to Design. Here's my change colors. And I want the gradient loop accent 1. And then I want to change it to moderate effect. So there's a lot more things you can do to your SmartArt, so just play around with it when you have a chance to work with it. It's really a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and save this, since I've got, even though I have my autosave turned on, I always make a point to go up and save it, or click Control S if you're into keyboard shortcuts. We want to change this table now. We want to make it look a little different. So we're going to select the table. And up here now we have table tools. If you don't see table tools, it's because you don't have your table selected. And we're going to change the table style. So right here we have all these different styles to choose from. And we're going to change it to list 3 accent 1. So I'm just going to come down here, list 3, table 3 accent 1. That's what we're looking for. And so we're just going to change the look of our table here. Okay, so now we're ready for the next page, and we want to copy the New Wave logo from page 1. So I'm going to scroll up to the top, and here's my logo that I'm wanting. So I just want to copy it. So I can do a couple of different things. I can use Control V, or my favorite thing is to right click and then copy. Then I'm going to go scroll down here to the 4th page, and we want it to appear below the Featured Next Wave Phones heading. So I'm just going to come up here and put my insertion point right there by the T, and then I can right click again and paste. And see, I got it, I moved it. I want to move it over. Let me click undo. You want it to be before the T. There we go. And we want it to the left of the paragraph. And I'm looking here. It doesn't say to do anything else to it. However, okay, I'm going to come up here to the Format Tools, because I think we want to change that wrap text to tight. It doesn't tell us to do that in the instructions, but it just looks a little better if I could do it on tight there. Now we want to, and plus that way it also matches what is in your document. So if you change the text wrap to tight there. The last thing we're going to do is add a table. So with our insertion point at the very bottom of our page, we're going to insert a table with 2 columns and 4 rows. So come up here to Insert, Table, 2 columns, 4 rows, 2 by 4. Excuse me. Now we're going to type in the information from our assignment page. So we've got phone, And we're just going to type it in. You want to make sure that you spell everything correctly. Make sure you enter in the correct amounts. And again, these marks that you see here on my document are because I have the show hide formatting turned on. And these symbols indicate the end of your cell. So if I come up here to home and I turn that off, then you're not going to see those anymore. So I've got all that information in there. I'm going to save it, review your document, make sure it looks correct, and you're ready to submit it for grading.